This prisoner had a peculiar routine before every meal. He would sneak to the doorway and chug down 10 pounds of tap water. Then he'd drop and do 100 push-ups. When his stomach started churning like a stormy sea, he'd head back to the cafeteria and stuff his face with food. If the warden came by for an inspection, he'd fake a violent coughing fit. The next second, he'd vomit all over the warden's shoes. To keep the warden from blowing a fuse, a few guards would hurry the man off to the infirmary. Little did they know, this was all part of the man's grand scheme. After a series of tests, they couldn't find anything wrong with him. The nurse had no choice but to tell Jack to get some rest. Jack felt the time was ripe. He asked to go to the restroom, insisting another prisoner accompany him. The nurse reluctantly agreed, not realizing this inmate was also Jack's accomplice. Once in the bathroom, Jack ripped out his IV and tossed it in the trash. He stepped up on the toilet seat and pulled out some tools he had stashed away. His partner kept watch. Jack slowly pried open the cabinet in the wall, revealing a tunnel just big enough for one person to pass through. He put the cabinet back like nothing had happened. The other end of the tunnel led to the tool shed. The two men hid themselves under a car, wedging pre-cut wooden boards into the undercarriage. This way, they could avoid the guard's mirror check. When the car stopped at the gas station, they secretly removed the boards and hopped out. They made their way to the blue sports car waiting for them outside and successfully escaped. But this was only phase 1 of their plan. Meanwhile, back at the prison, a riot broke out. Inmates smeared miso paste on their hands and covered all the security cameras. They used trays and tin foil to completely seal off every corner of the windows. The warden had no clue what was going down in the cafeteria. Their goal was to buy Jack time to return to prison. You see, Jack's real objective wasn't to break out, but to establish an alibi. He was plotting a heist of the century, to swipe millions in cash from the vault at the Grand Prix. With the massive crowds at the race, the organizers used a pipeline system to transport the money to an underground vault until the end of the event. The vault was full of traps and impossible to approach, but Genius Jack had a foolproof plan. He and his buddy jumped into a dumpster chute, sliding down to the underground level. His other accomplice, Mike, was already waiting there at a construction site. A section of the transport pipeline was exposed. Jack's idea was to blow a hole right in the middle of a pipe and intercept the cash as it passed by. Jack took out a milk candy, mixed it with bleach, added a few extra ingredients, and voila, a makeshift landmine. The final step was stuffing the bomb into a can and jamming it into the pipeline before making a quick getaway. Seconds later, a huge blast tore the pipe wide open. Now all they needed was a heavy-duty vacuum to suck the bills from the vault straight into their pockets. But just as the crew was relishing in their windfall, the smoke from the explosion had drifted back through the pipes, wafting right up to the bank teller's window.